Hey everyone, thanks for joining me. In today's video, I want to share with you 5 tips that have helped me significantly in aiming better in Call of Duty Modern Warfare and Warzone as well, but also to extend those tips to any first-person shooter in particular. If you enjoy this video and you find it helpful, please be sure to hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe so that you can always stay up to date on my latest videos. Let's get right into it. The first tip I want to share with you is maybe something you might not have thought of that relates to aiming better, but it helped me tremendously, especially in Call of Duty Modern Warfare, in learning to aim so much better. What that tip is you want to have what's called intention. Having intention is to really just wrap your head around all the maps in general, the Warzone map, the buildings, the corners, the nooks and crannies, basically, where people might be hiding, where people might be, and also where enemies might be going. What do I mean by this? Okay, so I want to share with you a few examples. So right now I'm running a local lobby on Shoot House. I've played this map so many times that I kind of understand where people might be at any time and where people might be going. And you really want to understand your risk versus reward here. So say for instance, I want to go in this direction that my reticle is pointing at right now. What you want to do is, so for example, I understand that there's this large wall here that you see, this this red stripe here. That is the boundary of the map. So nobody is really on that other side of that wall. So you should be free and clear. There could be somebody that's hiding in this dark corner right here on the right, but what I found is that like 90% of the time, somebody will most likely come out of this this crevice of the wall here because there's so many outlets that they could be at. They could also come at you from behind under here, but it's more likely because most players sprint run in Call of Duty. So what you're gonna expect is by the time you're at this point, you want to start rounding the corner, and now you're at a new set of intention in your mind to look at. So at this point, what I'm thinking is that a lot of people, because they spawn on this side, that they're actually going to start coming at you from that end. So what I'll actually do is I'll start moving up and I'll aim down my sight with a little bit of this cover from this van here, and I'll probably see at least one, maybe 2, sometimes 3 or more coming at me through this gateway here. Most of the time, that'll be a worthy option to be super aware of that straightaway here, this corridor, and find people there. There's also 2 other places they could come out of, and that's most likely going to be as you're sprinting here. Other than this straight part, they're probably going to be coming out of the left here, which is coming out of that straight main corridor in the middle. And then also they could be hiding somewhere in this dark corner on the left under the helicopter. This is where intention plays more into also where players are going. So for example, see where number 5 is? If I'm rounding this corner here, running, and I see an enemy running through into this dark corner, I'm probably going to assume that he's not going backwards right away because he's sprinting so fast. What I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start tracing that reticle to the left, because I most likely assume that the player's going to come out of that end on the left. And then what I'll do is I'll trace it like this, and then by the time he's out of that left side, I'll time it so that I'll be aimed down sight, and then I'll nail him with the headshot. This will significantly help in being able to have your reticle on the player when the player is there, and that saves you from panic moving your aim down sight. So if you were going like this, and you're way over here somewhere, and you maybe had high alert go off that someone was on your left hand side, if you move it over to the left real quick, those few milliseconds could end up ruining you, killing that actual person, that player, and then they would end up killing you instead with just those few seconds alone. And this is also going to lead into tip number 2. So tip number 2 is you really want to nail down what your look sensitivity is. So you can adjust your look sensitivity by going into the options menu and then going down to where it says horizontal stick sensitivity and vertical stick sensitivity. You can set them at different points, but the biggest point I want to make here about look sensitivity is you need to really understand the way that you aim and how fast you do it and what you're comfortable with at the time. So you may see some players, especially like professional gamers on YouTube, that will set it real high, like 12 or 13, and it'll look really really aggressive the way that they aim up and down, left, right, and be able to pull that off. Many times, and for a lot of players, having the highest look sensitivity will definitely not help you, because say, like I said earlier with tip number 1, how there could be somebody, even though I'm assuming that somebody could be coming out of this straight corridor here on the side, could actually happen that somebody on the left side could be popping up. So the problem with that is you want to have the most comfortable look sensitivity for who you are, so that if you made a mistake on your assumption and somebody comes out of the side here, you'll be able to lock on them and be able to shoot comfortably and not stray too far to the left, right, up, or down, and get them right in the biggest target zone, which requires the least amount of rounds to kill them, which is obviously the headshot and the upper torso. This goes into tip number 3 now. So the first tip is you want to understand the map through your intention, knowing where players are and where they're going. And the second tip is you want to be super comfortable with your look sensitivity. You don't want it way too high, but you also don't want it too low, so that you can be able to, if somebody behind you is shooting you, you'll be able to snap backwards right away and shoot them from behind. The third tip I want to share with you is, especially in Call of Duty, I always like to do what's called the shift. And this is actually, this serves 2 purposes. One is, as a console player, we're more concerned with the way that the weapon recoils up and down. So if the weapon recoils up and down, we're more concerned on the right joystick about lowering and raising it, so that it's most likely going to be lowering the joystick, because if you shoot the gun like this, it's going to ride up on you. But what you're more concerned about is fine-tuning that right joystick down so that it'll stay within their zone. What the shift is when you're shooting at somebody, what you want to do is you actually want to use the left joystick and move it left to right as you're shooting somebody, and then all you're doing then is fine-tuning the right joystick down so that you can get the proper amount of recoil stabilization, and you're not overcompensating left or right from the target that you're acquiring. So let's use this target board for instance. If I'm running around and I spot the target here, what I most likely want to start doing, especially at this range when it's closer up, I want to shoot, but I also want to strafe side to side. I don't want to look side to side. See how much bigger of an impact that makes with the right joystick? I want to shift side to side with my body so that it's more fine-tuned movements. And also in Call of Duty, the gun doesn't sway that far left to right, the weapon. So what you want to do is you want to come at the target and then shoot, and then you want to move side to side and shift. The fourth tip I want to share with you, and this one helped me tremendously, especially as right after I bought this television. What you want to do is you want to eliminate any what's called post-processing effects of the TV, so that you can reduce all of the lag possible of your input between when you're actually aiming on your controller and making that purpose, and then it actually showing up on the television. Those few milliseconds of lag, when it's added via post-processing on the television screen, can mean all the difference in the world between you successfully shooting on a target via like the head or the upper torso, and you actually missing the target completely. The best way I recommend doing this is to just simply turn on your game mode. And most smart TVs, 4K TVs too, are equipped with game mode. I also made a video going more into detail on how to even further improve your TV settings if you want more information on that. But game mode eliminates almost all, or it does eliminate all of the post-processing effects of your TV, so that you get the best amount of input lag with your aiming. The fifth tip I have for you is you want to do two things. Even though I merged this into one tip, you want to do what I'm doing right now, which is you want to practice in your own lobby, or with like in Call of Duty, you can do your own lobby with bots. You want to practice as much as possible, and you want to combine that with your own gameplay style. Those two go hand in hand, and I keep saying that because your gameplay style may change a little bit, especially after you buy a new first-person shooter, or a new update comes out on Call of Duty, and maybe they buff or nerf a certain weapon, or you're trying out a new weapon attachment. What you want to do is you want to hone in on what your favorite gameplay style is, and then keep practicing that gameplay style so that you'll be able to master your aiming significantly. For me personally, and you'll see this in my gameplay videos, I'll play at about, I'll play at about 10 to 30 meters. I'm a more aggressive, I like to run around. I don't like to sit around or camp. But this is a comfortable range for me, which is I call the mid range. I'm not so comfortable, even like with the Car 98K, I'm not so comfortable with sitting way back on the other side of the map and trying to snipe people. What I like to do is I like to be a little more aggressive. I like to run. I like to shift or strafe, and I want to avoid the fire that is coming at me. And then I'm more comfortable with shifting and then being more concerned about my recoil going down so that I can acquire the target successfully. And that's it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it and you found it helpful, please be sure to hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe so that you can always stay up to date on my latest videos. I'll see you guys in the next one.